Okay, so this is sort of a strange story time, but when I was in first grade, maybe even kindergarten, I was a little kid and I was going to a public school, and there were restroom breaks built into the day, but if you needed to go to the bathroom some other time, you could just raise your hand and you'd go down to the bathroom and you'd have the bathroom all to yourself. And I needed to pee, so I went down and I had the bathroom all to myself, and I was standing at the urinal and I heard somebody come in the door, and then they walked over and stood right sort of behind me to the left. And I looked up at him, and it was like a sixth grader. I was like first grade, and they were sixth grade. So he was like a really big kid, and he had a pocket knife open, and he was looking down at me really mean, and he said, "I'm gonna cut the living snot out of you." And I looked up at him, and all I could think to say was, "Why?" And he just like, "Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you." And he went over and he washed his hands and combed his hair, and he left. and I never saw him again. But for years after that, for probably 2 decades after that, I had a hard time relaxing enough at a public urinal in order to relieve myself. And I would go up and I would sit there for a while, and then I started just reading the urinal. The top of the urinal has a valve on it where the flushing mechanism is, and they all said Royal Sloan Valve Company. I drove all the way across country. It was always Royal Sloan Valve Company, which made me think, they must have made a fortune making valves for urinals. And was that a decision they made? We at Royal Sloan have decided that as a company, what we are going to make is urinal valves. Because quite frankly, no one else is making them, and we can corner the market. I'm sure that was said at one of their sales meetings or something at some point. Anyway, eventually, I went into a public restroom, and they did not have a Royal Sloan valve. It didn't have writing on it at all. There was nothing there to read. And I sat there and realized, I don't know if I can relieve myself. I was like, why am I unable to? Oh, it's because I'm not reading the urinal. And so in my mind, I thought, Royal Sloan Valve Company. And then I was able to relax. And then I was able to do it. That's how Pavlovian we are as human beings, that just reading Royal Sloan in my brain allowed me to urinate at that urinal.